Let's start with Wembley. Because you know what?
Wembley.
Do you know what? Right, I remember going to watch Arsenal at Wembley when they played there. I used to go and watch the games, and I remember going to watch Arsenal. They played against Barcelona there, and it weren't good. We didn't have a great record at Wembley, I have to say, when we played there. But I do remember going there. We packed it up. Not like when Tottenham were there and there was empty seats and things like that. When we played there, and we were the first team, as far as I know, to play there, we packed Wembley out.
That is.
I remember going there, and do you know what? It was actually all right, because my cousins lived in Wembley and that, so I could park up near the ground and just walk down to it and go in. So, but listen, I don't really want to go back to playing in Wembley, but I can understand why they might be considering it if they are going to carry out big work, and then the ground's not in use.
Well, let me read the news. On X today, it said Arsenal planned a major expansion of the Emirates that could see them move to Wembley. Detailed work has gone into potential overhaul that would restore Arsenal Football Club's status as the biggest ground in London. Obviously, we had that before we made the move. We lost that. Obviously, now I think we're actually the 5th biggest stadium in the UK, which again, I've learned a lot in this build up to this show. So hopefully, listen, you lot may already know this. There's a lot of people that are very educated in the chat all the time, but a lot of this stuff was not even new information, just information I kind of oversaw. So, for instance, we're the 5th biggest in the UK. We are, I think, first is Man United, as it always has been. Old Trafford's 74,879 seater. And then the next one is Tottenham, are second with 62,000. West Ham are third, obviously, the London Olympic Stadium, 62,500. And then fourth for Liverpool, obviously, they got a recent extension in their ground at Anfield. So they've got 61,276. And then Arsenal at the moment, Emirates are 60,704. But we're obviously looking to this move to then make us the biggest seated stadium in the UK. And like Robbie mentioned, we actually did the move first. We were the first to go to Wembley and use it as our home ground back in, it was 1998 to 2000. We played a lot of our Champions League fixtures there. Did not have a good record at all there. Which Robbie kind of alluded to as well. So wasn't really a favorite place. If I'm honest, listen, big up Wembley. Don't love going there, even though we actually have quite a good record at Wembley under Arteta. Actually, he's pretty much won, I think, almost every game there. So there's a bit of good record there, but I don't like going there, parking, and it's just it'll be a bit. We've got a nice setup where we are right now. The studio, the ground, it works.
I wasn't even thinking of that.
It'll be a pain. Home games will be very expensive. To try and find parking every time and getting up there. And obviously, I'm quite a little bit of way out. But also, I want to mention that Arsenal made that move to Wembley back then, 1998, to basically prove that they can fill a 90,000 seater. So that's why they moved to Wembley originally. And actually, they had over that capacity week in, week out. Actually, sorry, it was 70,000 at the time. They were 60,000 at the time, and they were getting 71,000 people wanting to get tickets to the Arsenal games when I was at Wembley. So it proved that they could move from Highbury to the Emirates and fill the Emirates. That's why they made that move. It was kind of proof of concept, but this one is now just because we're going to need a home whilst we do the planning works and the building works on the Emirates. And it's looking like Wembley potentially will be our home if all goes ahead and goes to plan. I think they're looking, especially the Kroenkes, from what I read up on, is they're looking to follow the Real Madrid kind of model. I don't know if you've seen, obviously, they got a new stadium. They got the 360 screen. To be fair, we kind of did it. When I say we, the Kroenkes kind of did it first with the SoFi Stadium, which me and Robbie have been lucky enough to go to. It's one of my favorite stadiums. It's not even a stadium; it's a freaking megaplex spaceship. But they're looking to replicate that model with the Emirates, putting more seats in there, and also putting I think some sort of screen in there as well. So a bigger screen. Obviously, we've got screens already, but a 360 screen like the Real Madrid one. It kind of goes around the arch of the ceiling. So this is good. I mean, it's good news. I mean, I suppose more money for them. I think, listen, improving the Emirates and making it big, I think for all people. I think there's people that are, constantly on the waiting list. I'm still, my family have a share of a scene tape, but I'm still on my own personal waiting list as well. So it just means, you might get more chance to get more tickets, I guess, or it'll go to ballots. But yeah, man. It's
or will that be just to extend the corporate parts of the stadium? Because nowadays, with a lot of football stadiums, where they make that real big money is the corporate section. So if you look at the Emirates, one of the reasons why when the Emirates opened, and Arsenal make so much money on a match day is that they've got corporate boxes going all the way round on 2 levels. So they make humongous amounts of money on that on those corporate boxes. And a lot of other teams saw that and started to say, well, we need to change up our stadiums. We need to get more corporate boxes in. That's why you've seen Everton move grounds. I mean, their ground was a bit old anyway.
Yep.
That's why you see Newcastle are looking at a new stadium right now. We was up there the other day. That's why Liverpool have extended. It's not necessarily for the bigger capacity for, in general, which, that obviously overall that helps with the match day revenue, but it's those additional corporate areas. Tottenham saw what Arsenal did, and they've done exactly the same thing with their corporate model. And I think Arsenal are looking at doing the same thing. And also, like you said, making those improvements inside, like the 360 screen, which we've seen at the SoFi Stadium, and is absolutely, and they do have it at Real Madrid. I was at Madrid; they have it as well. It is unbelievable when you have that. Wherever you are in the ground, you can see it. It's got that screen going all the way around. But it's incredible that Arsenal are looking to update already, and the stadium is already aging a bit, and it's deemed as quite a modern stadium. So
it is modern. It is very modern.
And the other thing is, Cecil, I do remember when Arsenal played at Wembley. As I said, I used to go to the games at Wembley, watch those. We didn't have a great record there. There was a lot of fans complaining at the time that, the atmosphere wasn't great because, obviously at that time we'd moved from Highbury and we'd gone to Wembley. What it did do is it gave a lot of fans who couldn't get into Highbury, because Highbury was like a 39,000 capacity. Now, all of a sudden, we almost doubled that by going to Wembley, and a lot of people loved the fact that they could get a ticket, and it brought a lot of new fans into the stadium. But there was a lot of complaints about the atmosphere, and people were saying that's why we're not winning as many games at Wembley as we were at the Emirates. So if we do move there, some of those problems will no doubt reoccur, and they're going to have to look at what they do to enhance the atmosphere if we do move there. But listen, I'm always all for improvement. I'm always all for, if they're going to make the stadium better. The interesting thing I'd like to find out, if this is true, how long will we be at Wembley? I don't know if you've got that information, but how long will we be there?
I haven't actually got that on me. I've done intensive research, but because it's kind of the first proposal that where we would move to, I haven't got how long it potentially will be, because I don't know how long the building works will be, or even look when they'll look to do it. Because sometimes, surely they'll plan to do it in the off season. Obviously, it will probably overlap into a new season, but surely they must.
Well, no. It will be when we did it last time, I'm sure it was 2 seasons.
It did say it was 2 seasons. Yeah, it was 2 seasons. It was 2 seasons.
Listen, if you're going to make coming from back in the day, I used to work as a building surveyor, and funny enough, I worked in Wembley when they were building the new Wembley Stadium, and I saw that stadium go up in front of my eyes. I saw it from when they first started, because I used to work where you got Wembley Way now. There was a building there called Stadium Housing I used to work for, and that overlooked the old Wembley. And when they were knocking down the old Wembley and building up the new one, I saw the construction going up. And these are big projects. These are massive projects. Even to make improvements on existing stadiums, these are big projects that are going to take at least a year, at least. Though I'd say we'd be at least a season out of the stadium at the very least. And as I said, when you then move out of a stadium, and you go, little problems arise. As I said, you know what I mean? Fans start to moan about, is the atmosphere as good? Is the place as good?
Wait, is the atmosphere as good? Sorry, where? In Wembley, or is in
Wembley? In Wembley, you know what I mean? Because people are used to the Emirates and used to going there and that, and then all of a sudden you got this upheaval. For some fans, it's further to go to Wembley. If you're based in North London, obviously you've got to go further out. If you're based in South London, you've got to go further out to get to Wembley.